Aries, something powerful is happening. The universe isn't punishing you, it's preparing you. July 17th to 18th, 2025 isn't just another moment on the calendar. It's a karmic checkpoint, a soul test, a divine mirror showing you who you are, what you're holding on to, and where you must grow if you want to step into your millionaire timeline, purpose, or soulmate alignment. In this video, we'll reveal the 6 urgent signs that you're in the middle of a spiritual test and how to pass it before it delays your destiny. If you've been feeling shaken, confused, triggered, or even broken, you're not alone. But every one of these signs is part of a bigger plan to upgrade your soul. Stay till the end because sign number 6 is the most dangerous and the most sacred. Let's begin. Sign number 1, you're being forced to let go of a false identity. Aries, during July 17th to 18th, 2025, the universe is peeling back the layers of who you think you are, and it's not subtle. You may find yourself questioning everything. Who am I without my title? What's left if I'm not the one always in control? Why do I feel like I don't even recognize myself anymore? That's because the identity you've been carrying, whether it's the achiever, the strong one, the provider, or the lone warrior, is being dismantled. And not out of punishment, but because it's outdated. Right now, Mars, your ruling planet, is squaring the emotional moon while Saturn retrogrades through your 12th house of illusion, ego, and soul endings. Translation: the roles you've worn like armor are cracking, and what's underneath is your real self, raw, powerful, and unfiltered. Here's what you might notice. You feel unseen in places you once shined. Your motivation drops for things that used to excite you. You feel uncomfortable when someone doesn't get who you are. This is a spiritual test. The ego is panicking, whispering, if you let go of this role, you'll be nothing. But the soul knows better. It's saying, if you let go, you'll be free. This false identity served you once. Maybe it helped you survive a chaotic childhood, win respect, or push through adversity. But it's not meant to carry you into your next chapter. In fact, it's the very thing blocking your destiny. And this is where most people fail the test. They cling to who they were, even if that person is exhausted, overextended, or out of alignment, because they're afraid of the unknown. But Aries, you were built for the unknown. You are the first fire, the sign of new beginnings. You weren't born to repeat. You were born to rebuild. So what does it look like to pass this test? It's when you say, I don't need to prove anything anymore. I can be loved without performing. I choose peace over pride. And when you make that inner shift, you'll feel it instantly. Your aura becomes magnetic. People start treating you differently, more authentically. You stop chasing and start attracting. Because once the mask drops, your true light returns. And that light, it's unstoppable. So pause and ask yourself, who am I when I'm not being what others expect? Who would I be if I didn't need to be impressive, perfect, or praised? The answer may feel scary, but it's also your portal to power. Let go of the false identity, because your soul contract is waiting. Sign number 2, old emotional triggers are coming back louder than ever, Aries. During July 17th to 18th, the universe isn't just testing your strength, it's testing your emotional depth. And that's where things get real. Because for all your boldness, for all your fire and action, lies a truth you rarely speak aloud. You've been hurt more deeply than you've ever let on. And this week, those emotional echoes, the ones you thought you buried, are starting to rise. You may find yourself feeling irrationally upset with someone for a small comment, deeply abandoned or misunderstood, even in a crowd, triggered by something that reminds you of a past betrayal. Almost like you're back in that moment again. That's not weakness. That's soul excavation. Here's the cosmic truth. Mars, your ruler, is aligning with Chiron, the wounded healer, in your sign. This isn't just astrology. This is cosmic surgery. You're being pulled open, not to bleed, but to release. These wounds, Aries, they've shaped your identity. Maybe they made you hyper-independent. Maybe they made you afraid to ask for help. Maybe they turned you into the one who always gives, but never receives. But those survival strategies, they're not needed anymore. Because your future, the one with fulfilling love, soul-aligned wealth, peace of mind, requires emotional space. And space only comes when you clear the clutter of past pain. But this is where the test sharpens its edge. You'll want to lash out, defend, blame, escape. Don't. The universe wants to know, will you respond like the wounded version of yourself or the healed one you're becoming? This is your moment of emotional maturity. Instead of reacting, pause. When you feel triggered, ask, what is this memory trying to show me? Where did this pattern begin? What needs love, not defense? You might cry. You might journal and uncover a core wound you forgot existed. You might suddenly realize that your anger isn't about today, but about what happened 10 years ago. That's growth, that's healing, that's power. Because when you can sit with your pain and not run from it, you reclaim your emotional sovereignty. And once you do, something magical happens. You stop taking things personally. You stop attracting emotionally unavailable people. You start leading your life with calm, not chaos. You've outgrown the version of yourself that explodes to feel seen or stays silent to feel safe. This trigger storm isn't a breakdown, it's a breakthrough. So feel everything, process it, cry it out, then rise again with wisdom in your chest instead of wounds. Because Aries, your fire isn't just for battle, it's for healing too. And this week, the universe is watching to see if your emotional body is finally ready to ascend. Sign number 3, your old life is falling apart and you're not in control, Aries, let's be honest. You love having the reins. You love initiating the mission, rallying the troops, and blazing your own trail. You're a fire starter, bold, driven, unstoppable. But right now, during July 17th to 18th, 2025, the universe is flipping the switch, and not gently. You might feel like everything is slipping through your fingers. People are ghosting or pulling away. No matter how hard you try, nothing is flowing. Your career path may suddenly shift. A project that once excited you might fizzle out. A relationship that seemed secure could hit a wall of silence or confusion. You might even face unexpected bills, delays, or tech failures that test every ounce of your patience. It may feel like everything is falling apart. But Aries, what if it's not falling apart? What if it's falling into place? Here's the truth you don't want to hear, but need to hear. You're not in control, and that's exactly the point. Right now, Pluto, the planet of deep transformation, is sitting squarely in your 10th house of career, purpose, and public identity. And when Pluto visits, it doesn't gently renovate. It demolishes. Everything that no longer serves your highest potential is being cleared away. And yes, it feels terrifying, but this isn't punishment. It's divine redirection. This is the universe saying, you've come as far as you can in this version of your life. Now let's level up. But here's the test. Will you let go? Will you loosen your grip on the crumbling job, the outdated identity, the relationship that's outlived its growth? Or will you cling tighter and exhaust yourself trying to save something that's already complete? Because Aries, the old tools won't work in this new season. You can't force clarity through control. You can't manifest miracles while you're micromanaging every outcome. This moment is about learning to trust in the mystery. If you pass the test, by surrendering instead of scrambling, you'll start to see the miracles unfold. A new opportunity will find you out of nowhere. A mentor will appear. A wild idea will light up your path and change everything. But only if you allow space. Only if you stop chasing what's collapsing. This isn't about giving up. This is about getting out of your own way. Your higher self already knows where you're headed. It's the ego that's panicking. So breathe. Let the breakdowns happen. Say goodbye to what's ending, because something far more aligned is trying to enter. And the faster you surrender, the faster it arrives. You're not losing control, Aries. You're learning cosmic cooperation. That's the real power. Sign number 4, you feel spiritually disconnected, but more curious than ever. Aries, what do you do when the signs go silent? When your meditations feel empty, your prayers feel ignored, and your connection to the universe feels like it just vanished overnight? Between July 17th to 18th, 2025, this is exactly what you might experience, and it can be incredibly disorienting. You'll feel like your spiritual tools aren't working anymore. You're trying to tune in, but the channel is just static. The synchronicities you once trusted have gone completely dark. It's like the light switch has been flipped off, and no one told you why. But listen closely, Aries. This isn't a punishment. This isn't you doing something wrong. This is a sacred void, a moment of spiritual silence created not to break you, but to build you. Right now, the universe is testing your ability to trust without proof. It's one of the hardest initiations of all. Mars and Neptune are interacting subtly in your chart, dissolving your usual sense of spiritual direction while amplifying your intuition beneath the surface. But it's not loud. It's not obvious. It's whisper level. And that's the point. You're being asked to shift from external guidance to internal knowing. You're used to fire, Aries. Bold moves, obvious signs, high energy. But this time, the power is in stillness. This is soul refinement. Your crown chakra is recalibrating, preparing to receive higher frequencies. But to do that, it needs silence. Interference must clear. It's like the universe is tuning your spirit to a new radio station. The old one was full of static. But before you can hear the music again, you must pass through the quiet. This is the faith without feedback phase. And this is where most people give up. They stop meditating. They say nothing is working. They abandon their practice, but not you. Because if you're still here, watching this, listening to this, it means your soul is ready for the upgrade. So here's what to do when you feel spiritually disconnected. Check mark, keep going. Show up for your rituals, even if they feel empty. You're not doing it for results. You're doing it for alignment. Ask different questions. Instead of, where's my sign? Ask, what is this silence teaching me? Stay open to subtle shifts. You may not see the miracle, but you'll feel the gentle pull back toward your purpose. This isn't spiritual abandonment, it's spiritual responsibility. Because when you no longer need signs to believe, that's when the biggest signs arrive. And when the connection returns, because it will, you'll feel stronger, clearer, and more divinely guided than ever before. This void is not the end. It's the final reset before spiritual acceleration. So if you're in the dark, Aries, light the candle anyway. Because sometimes your greatest evolution begins in silence. Sign number 5, a false flame or distracting person. Returns, Aries. This sign is one of the most seductive and the most dangerous. Around July 17th to 18th, 2025, someone from your past may reappear. Maybe it's a lover who ghosted you. Maybe it's a friend who betrayed you. Maybe it's someone you cut ties with, but never fully healed from, and they show up with sweetness. A soft text. Hey, I've been thinking about you. An apology, a compliment, a memory. And suddenly you're pulled between your growth and your history. But Aries, this is not a reunion. This is a spiritual checkpoint, a karmicus echo, a test disguised as tenderness. This person, no matter how sincere they seem, often carries energy from your old timeline. The version of you who doubted yourself, who overgave, who stayed too long, who settled. And now, they've returned to see if that version of you still exists. It's not about them, it's about your response. So ask yourself, have they truly evolved? Or are they just sensing your power rising? Do you feel energized in their presence or drained after the interaction? Is this connection rooted in mutual growth or emotional nostalgia? Because here's the truth. No one tells you sometimes the final test before you level up is temptation. The universe whispers, are you really done with this lesson? It dangles the familiar, the comfortable, the almost right. But the question is, are you willing to sacrifice your future to relive your past, or will you choose the unknown, the path of faith, the version of you who honors your boundaries above your loneliness? You're not being tested on your capacity to forgive. You're being tested on your capacity to choose yourself. This is about self-respect. This is about recognizing that just because something returns doesn't mean it belongs. So what should you do if this person comes back? Don't rush. Time is your friend. You don't owe them immediate answers or access. Observe. Watch their energy. Are they mirroring your glow, or are they trying to feed off it? Feel. Tune into your body. Does your gut say yes or wait? And here's the golden key. If you respond with love but don't let them back in, you pass the test. You show the universe, I've learned. I'm ready for what's next. And what's next? Soul-aligned connections, higher love, emotional freedom, and a life where your heart isn't spent rescuing others but rising in your own truth. This test is subtle. It feels romantic, familiar, safe. But Aries, safe isn't always sacred. You deserve relationships that match your evolution, not ones that try to drag you back into a version of you that no longer exists. So if the past knocks, you don't have to answer. You've got bigger doors to open. Sign number 6, you feel like giving up. Right before the breakthrough Aries, this is the most deceptive, most exhausting, and most sacred test of all. In the days or even hours around July 17th to 18th, 2025, you may feel like the entire universe is against you, like you've done everything right, and yet nothing is happening. You might think, I've worked so hard, and I still feel stuck. I'm tired of being strong. Maybe I'm not meant to have the love, the success, the purpose I've been chasing. That feeling, that collapse, it's not weakness, it's not failure, it's a spiritual detox. Because right before the caterpillar becomes the butterfly, its entire body melts. And right before your breakthrough timeline arrives, the old version of you must die. This death feels like total exhaustion, even after sleep. Random tears for no reason at all. Feeling invisible, like no one understands you. A complete loss of direction, energy, or desire. But here's the secret. This isn't a breakdown. It's your body upgrading to handle more light, more love, more abundance, and more power. Your nervous system is recalibrating. Your aura is expanding. Your timeline is stretching to make space for miracles. But to receive it, you must not give up here. This is the final spiritual checkpoint before the quantum leap. And most people, they quit here. They give into the lie that it's all meaningless, that they've been forgotten, that they've wasted time. But Aries, you are not most people. You are the sign of initiation, of beginning, of fire from ashes. This is the part of the movie where the hero is on their knees. And if you stay the course right now, even just for one more breath, the entire story shifts. Because the universe is watching closely. Not to judge you, but to ask, will you trust even when nothing is showing up? Because if you do, here's what's coming next. A divine opportunity that seemed out of reach. A flood of creative clarity or business success. A relationship breakthrough. Or the arrival of someone new who gets you on a soul level. And, most of all, a deep, unshakable knowing that you passed the test. So what can you do right now to pass? Rest deeply, not as an escape, but as sacred recovery. Speak life. Even if it feels fake, affirm, everything is working out for me. I am supported. I am ready. Visualize. Before bed, picture the version of you who already made it, who's living the dream. Let that vision be your anchor. Reach out. You're not meant to do this alone. Talk to your guides, your journal, your higher self. Say, help me remember who I am. And most of all, don't let a moment of pain erase a lifetime of purpose. You are so close, closer than you've ever been. This is not the end. This is the final fire before rebirth. So if you feel like giving up, Aries, take one more step instead, because that step, it could be the one that changes everything. Final thought. The universe isn't testing you to break you. It's testing you to awaken you. Every sign we just covered is uncomfortable, but also sacred. Because Aries, your destiny is calling. Not the easy version, the real one. One filled with abundance, alignment, purpose, and soul-led fire. But to reach it, you must pass through the pressure. July 17th to 18th is not the end. It's your spiritual rebirth. Now, comment below, I choose to rise. Let the universe hear it. Your shift has already begun.